Okay, welcome back to the next training video, and hopefully by now you've already looked at our goal getting webinar. How exciting was that, where we taught how to get goals rather than just set them. Of course, setting goals is very important, but how many times and how many people do you know that have set goals year in, year out, and nothing ever happens? And so for me, getting goals is far more important than just setting them. And so both go hand in hand. And then we went on to the whole, how to generate leads, harvest those leads, kind of massage those leads, work those leads, and make the most of those leads. And how to keep building those leads, consistently adding to your pot of contacts. In this particular video, we're going to cover inviting. It's one of the most important, and for me, one of the most crucial skills that I had to learn in those early days as I was, building up my skills around this industry. And so inviting people to look at the information, that's what we want to do. Now, it's not just a case of throwing mud at the wall and hoping some of it sticks. I know there are many internet marketing strategies that teach that, build a list of 10,000, 100,000, throw it all at the wall, and some of it's going to stick, some of them are going to bite. That's not what we're talking about here. I'm talking about strategic conversations, intelligent conversations, conversations that make a difference, that contribute, that get into the heart of the matter. And so what I teach when it comes to inviting is rewind a little bit before the invite. Let's look at the pre-invitation. Actually building rapport with your potential partners, actually taking the time to get to know them a little bit. What is it that they want? What are their hot buttons? And just write this one down. It's something that served me really, really well over the years. It's easier to give people what they want than what you've got. And so often in life, we're taught to go out and sell, the hard sell, go and the benefits and the features and all that great stuff. Look, I'm not taking anything away from any of that. I went through some of the best of the learning curves and best kind of master classes in sales and marketing and communication. I've done all of those seminars and they're brilliant. Each and every one of them have led me to a fantastic journey and a point where I am today. But really, if I was to boil it all down, I think one of the most important elements of making the sale, of making that transaction, is your ability to influence another. And so the art of influencing is a skill that's learned from the inside. It's something about you, learning to influence yourself first and then others. So work on yourself always. I always teach this as the foundation of everything that I teach. Work on yourself 99% of the time. If you can work on yourself harder than you work on everything else, then the rest of the skills will just fall into place. They're already innate, they're already in our nature, they're already built into our DNA. The ability to communicate with people effectively and share and move people, that's already inside. Once you get in touch with yourself, once you integrate yourself, then the rest comes easy. So always work on yourself. Now, in terms of the skill set required of inviting powerfully, well, like I said, give people what they want. It's a lot easier than selling them what you've got. And so in order to do that, you need to know what they want. And so it's asking questions, qualifying people before you present them with your information. And so, how do you qualify people? Very simple. Ask great questions. The better you get at asking questions, the better answers you get. And the better answers you get, you now create a feedback loop that allows you to determine where to direct the conversation next. And so in that whole process of qualifying people, you want to get to know a little bit about their family, a bit about their hobbies, what they like to do outside of work, obviously about their careers and their work and their passion around that. Are they fulfilled? Do they love what they do? Is that the direction that they're going to go in for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years? Or are they looking for something different? Also, their family situation. Have they got children? Are they in a relationship? Are they single? What are the kind of things that they're going to be looking for at the stage of the stage of life that they're at? And then you've got things like, so we've covered career, we've covered the family, we've covered like hobbies outside of work. What are they passionate about? What are the things that they love to do more of? So, again, those are things, hot buttons that people, if you could spend more time doing the things that you'd love to do, then, how would that be for you? If you could, if you could send your children to private school, how would that be? If you could drive a better car, if you could pay off your current car faster, what if you could pay off your mortgage faster than you currently are? If you could get it paid off in 10 years instead of 25, would that make a difference? These are the kind of conversations you want to have. If they don't have a mortgage, then they rent. How would you like to get out of paying rent and into paying your own mortgage off? So when you have these kind of conversations and you find out from their response where they're at on that kind of journey, on that conversation level. And so always speak to people at their level. Don't talk above their level. Don't talk below their level. Find out the level they're at and speak to them at that level. It's the most powerful way to have a conversation with somebody. And so, make sure they feel heard, they feel loved and respected. Every conversation is about love and respect. You might have differences of opinion, you might have different viewpoints, different perspectives on stuff, and that's fine. Keep the conversation fluid, keep the conversation smooth, and keep it natural. Ultimately, keep it real. People say, Kalpesh, what are the scripts? There aren't any scripts. And yes, there are. You can get scripts online. There's scripts for everything. But for me, it's not about the scripts. It's about the real conversations that you can have that make a difference moment by moment. So again, learning to be fluid in your conversation, learning to be able to, have the conversation at the moment in time that suits the space somebody's in. These are the skills, the finer skills that make the bigger difference. And when you keep it real, when you just talk to people heart to heart, then ultimately you'll get through to them. After all, what are we doing? We're sharing phenomenal ideas, great concepts, information that's transformed the lives of millions of people around the world. And all you're wanting to do is share this information with your best friends, your loved ones, or even people that you've just met, but you want to share this information with them in a way that it lands. And so speaking to people's listening, what are they hearing when you're speaking? So working on yourself, absolutely. Improve your skills consistently over time. Become better. Become the best you can be. And then when you now start sharing with other people, those ideas land on better ground. They land on better ears. They're listening to you in a different way. And so you'll realize very soon that your ability to influence others, the power to influence, is where everything shifts. And so if you study all of the different kind of arenas that people play in, the different games that people play, whether it's the game of health, the game of growth, the game of business, the game of careers, whatever games people choose to play and get really good at, the people that are the greatest in those different arenas is because they're the most influential. The ability to influence themselves and discipline themselves and create the right work habits and be consistent over time. Those kind of skills over time will show in results. And then the ability to now influence beyond yourself. So you influence yourself first, then you influence those around you, your loved ones, your close ones, your friends, your family, and then eventually, ultimately, strangers. You have the ability to influence somebody that you've never met before in a conversation. And when you can influence people for the better, when you can influence them in a positive way, in a way that impacts their lives to improve their lives, now people get interested. They want to know what you're about. They want to know what you stand for and the difference you can make in their life. And so that's the focus. What value can you add to the lives of those around you? So you've got to become more valuable in order to add more value. And that comes from reading the great books, listening to the right information, watching the right DVDs, filling your mind consistently every single day with the right stuff so that when you speak, what you've been filling into your mind reflects in your conversations. And so these are just some of the tips that I want to share with you in the art of inviting. So yes, there are some lines that help. You can learn some of those, and there's scripts available all over the internet. Look those up, that's fine. And we'll also make some available on our website as well, for the people that are just stuck on having the script. But it's not the script that's going to get you results. What's going to get you results is excitement, enthusiasm. Always invite people with excitement, enthusiasm. That's 90% of your job done. And then confidence, self-esteem, your ability to communicate effectively. That's what we're talking about here. And these are the skills that you're sharpening all the time. Ultimately, learn through mistakes. Make a few mistakes. Make the first few calls and let them be clumsy. Let them be cluttered. Let them be kind of broken in thread, incongruent. Let them be all over the place. It's fine, and smile when you're making these calls. Your excitement and enthusiasm will get you through those calls anyway. But here's what will happen: when you make enough of these calls, your flow will get better, your pitch will get better, what to say, when to say it, who to say it to, how to say it, all of that will come into place and fall into place when you practice. You can't master this stuff outside of the trenches. You've got to throw yourself in at the deep end and pick up that phone and start making the calls to that list. Start at the top and work your way down. Once you've qualified that list and you've got your best contacts first, you call them, you contact them, and share from the heart why you're excited about sharing information with them. And then don't you share the actual information. You don't go around telling them, explaining to them the details of your opportunity. Your role is purely to let the tools do the work. And so you point them to the relevant tools. Watch this video, listen to this information, whatever it is that in your organization that you have to do, the next step, point to the tools and let the tools do all the work. So what you're doing is building the relationships, strengthening those relationships, and influencing those relationships. Once again, I want to thank you for being on this very short, sharp training. I hope it was valuable. Again, there's lots more to come. We're constantly adding to this stuff. I'm just going to keep sharing my mind stuff with you on a daily basis, and you do whatever you got to do with that information. But like I said, my commitment is to you. My commitment is to help you, to coach you, to train you, to mentor you, to work with you in whatever way I can, like this, virtually through training videos, so that at some point, I hope that maybe you're on one of the beaches or the mountains of the world sharing with somebody else how you came across this guy called Kalpesh Patel. You listened to his information and it impacted you in a way that it moved, touched, and inspired you and allowed you to go on to do greater things, better things, and contribute and give back and make a difference to other people. Let's keep this ripple effect going of transformation. Once again, I want to thank you for listening to this information. You're the best. Keep being the best. And I hope to see you some point in one of my seminars, live events, or one of my live webinars. Who knows? If our paths cross, be sure to let me know how this information impacted you. In the meantime, have a fantastic day, a great week, amazing month, and the best year that you've ever had. I'll see you at the top. Bye for now.